Hey there, it's Mark Weiss. Let's talk about disruptive physicians, but not the usual sort. Now, what do I mean, the usual sort? Well, when most people think about disruptive physicians, they think about someone who has, why don't we just call it an aggressive personality? Or why don't we call it someone who is swearing in the office, swearing in the hospital? Why don't we call it someone who is a harasser, even a sexual harasser? Those are certainly all types of disruptive physicians, and there are many more. But what about the sort that you might create? In fact, you likely created if you are, let's say, the leader, or even an owner, or even just an employee of a medical group that has resulted from the merger of groups. And in that merger, because everyone wanted to be fair and everyone wanted to view governance as kumbaya next to the campfire, you created a situation in which representatives from former Group A and representatives from former Group B are now on the board of directors, in essence, sharing power. The chances are, if you structured a group like that, well, this was not a complete marriage, let alone a perfect marriage. It wasn't a situation in which everyone views themselves as owners or members, employees of a combined group, but they view themselves as members of former Group A and former Group B, as board members of former Group A and former Group B, and they govern in that fashion. Until, and here comes the disruptor, someone will just pick Group B, doesn't make any difference. Former Group B decides that they want to take their toys and play in another sandbox. And what I mean their toys is they want to take Group B, because it still exists in their minds, with him or with her. And so they do things to disrupt the organization of the group. They do things to attack board members from what they view as former Group A. They do everything they can to split the group up. Well, what do you do to get rid of someone like this before they result in the destruction of the entire business? Have you created a situation in which you've tolerated that behavior for so long that you've created a feedback loop? You can act out, we let you get away with it. You could act out, we let you get away with it, to the point where, well, getting away with it has become the status quo. And even worse, have you created a situation where your organizational documents don't permit you to get rid of disruptor Dr. X because, God forbid, you've created a 66 2/3% vote of the shareholders before expelling a member? And what do you know? You have a group, 50-50 will say, ownership from among the prior constituent groups, and Group B is always going to support their guy. You're like Dr. Frankenstein. You've created your own Frankenstein monster. Think about these structures before you implement them.